Tenka Fubu ruled the realm by force. There was a man who lived by this motto, tearing apart the medieval order with fire and steel. Oda Nobunaga. His name echoes like a thunderclap through Japanese history. A warlord, both feared and admired. Konnichiwa. Welcome to the story of Oda Nobunaga, an ambitious daimyo who shattered the status quo and set Japan on a path to modernity. Oda Nobunaga was born in 1534 in Owari Province, present-day Western Aichi Prefecture, as the son of a minor daimyo. From the very beginning, he was different. The story told of his youth is that he was called O-Utsuke, meaning the big fool. He defied courtly customs, dressed in odd clothes. At his father's funeral, he even threw incense powder on the altar. Every one of his relatives worried about his future, as he was the one to inherit the headship of his family. But the fool had a vision. Upon his father's death, Nobunaga ascended as clan leader and showed an excellent talent as a military commander. The Owari province at that time was in the midst of a leadership struggle among Oda's branch families. In 1559, at the age of 26, he conquered Owari province, subjugating the rival branch family. Nobunaga, however, was not satisfied with Owari alone, a young lion sharpening his claws for greater hunts. In 1560, the tide turned forever. Imagawa Yoshimoto, a powerful daimyo, marched towards Kyoto. Yoshimoto was a daimyo who dominated Suruga and Totomi province to the east. Yoshimoto launched an attack against Nobunaga with an army of 25,000 men. At that time, Nobunaga forces numbered only 2,000. To Yoshimoto, defeating Nobunaga seemed to be as easy as twisting a baby's hand, but Nobunaga didn't give in. By spreading false information in advance, Nobunaga dispersed the enemy's main forces to avoid a head-to-head clash. The weather was on his side. It was raining heavily. Visibility was poor. Nobunaga's troops approached Yoshimoto in a covert manner, targeting him alone. The decisive battle took place at Okehazama. Taking advantage of the moment when the guards were thin on the ground, Nobunaga and his men attacked Yoshimoto. Yoshimoto's army was caught off guard and thrown into panic. Nobunaga got Yoshimoto's head. A shocking victory. A legend was born. The victory at Okehazama marked the beginning of Nobunaga's rise in the Sengoku Japan. From that point on, Nobunaga set out to conquer the whole of the country. In 1567, he conquered the neighboring Mino province to the north, defeating Saito Tatsuoki in the Battle of Inabayama Castle. Nobunaga renamed Inabayama Castle to Gifu Castle and made it his residence. It was here that he adopted the motto Tenka Fubu, meaning rule the realm by force. Nobunaga's ambition was no longer regional, it was national. In the following year, in 1568, Nobunaga marched into Kyoto, gaining the control of the country's capital. Nobunaga ostensibly had Ashikaga Yoshiaki, the 15th shogun, as his lord. This is to use the authority of the Ashikaga shogunate, which became powerless in the turmoil of Sengoku Japan. Nobunaga continued to fight for national hegemony. In 1570, he defeated powerful Azai and Asakura clans in the Battle of Anegawa. In the same year, he entered into battles with Ishiyama Hongan-ji Temple in Osaka, the strongholds of the Ikko-Ikki Buddhist forces led by Kennyo. Ikko-ikki was a militant insurrection of believers in true Pure Land Buddhism that became prevalent in Sengoku period, known for their bravery out of religious passion. Kennyo was as much a military commander as a Buddhist monk. He ordered Ikko-ikki forces across the country to attack Nobunaga's strongholds, and allied himself with anti-Nobunaga forces such as Mori clan. The war lasted 10 years. While fighting with Ikko-ikki, Nobunaga turned on Enryakuji, the head temple of the prestigious Tendai sect of Buddhism, in the infamous Siege of Hiei, in retaliation for the temple supporting the Azai and Asakura. He burned the monastery to the ground, killed the warrior monks, and massacred the women and children who were devotees of Enryakuji. Nobunaga didn't care at all about divine punishment. While Nobunaga continued to fight his wars, the shogun Yoshiaki grew frustrated. He realized that he was only being used as a puppet. In 1573, Ashikaga Yoshiaki finally raised his army to oust Nobunaga, but was immediately quelled. Nobunaga didn't kill Yoshiaki, but expelled him from Kyoto to Tomonoura, a remote town in western Japan. The Ashikaga shogunate, which had been established 2 centuries earlier by Takauji, thus came to an end. While other daimyo clung to traditional warfare, Nobunaga embraced change. Nobunaga's most powerful rival in the east was the Takeda clan in Kai province, known for their cavalry that was feared to be invincible. The famous Takeda Shingen, nicknamed the Tiger of Kai, died in 1573, but his son Katsuyori was launching an offensive against Nobunaga. The rivalry culminated in the Battle of Nagashino in 1575. Nagashino Castle was one of the strongholds of Tokugawa Ieyasu, a key ally of Nobunaga, and was strategically located in Mikawa province. If Nagashino were to fall, the whole of Mikawa would be in Takeda's hands. The decisive battle took place in Shitaragahara field near Nagashino Castle. Takeda's cavalry charged toward the allied forces of Nobunaga and Ieyasu. But Nobunaga responded with tactics that Katsuyori hadn't dreamed of. He deployed a matchlock squad with as many as 3,000 Tanegashima arquebuses that decimated the Takeda troops. The Battle of Nagashino marked a turning point in the history of Japanese warfare, as it was the first battle in which firearms played a decisive role. The Takeda's forces suffered a disastrous defeat. Nobunaga revolutionized the castle design too. Azuchi Castle, built by Lake Biwa, was unlike any stronghold Japan had ever seen. Towering, ornate, it became a symbol of not just military power, but Nobunaga's vision of a centralized state. And Azuchi Castle became the prototype for the early modern Japanese castles that were to be built all over the country. Nobunaga not only built a castle in Azuchi, he also created Rakuichi-Rakuza, the equivalent of today's free trade zones, where the privileges of guilds were abolished, allowing anyone to freely go into business. Trade flourished in Azuchi under Rakuichi-Rakuza. And Nobunaga is known to have protected Christianity while he cracked down the Buddhist forces. Nobunaga allowed European missionaries to proselytize Christianity and build churches. He even took great interest in European culture himself. Back to political history. Nobunaga, based in Azuchi Castle, continued to fight for the unification of Japan. He suppressed Negoro and Saika Buddhist forces in Kishu, destroyed Takeda clan in Kai, and launched the Chugoku campaign against the powerful Mori clan. In 1582, it seemed nothing could stop Nobunaga. The once powerful Mori clan was on the verge of collapse. The Ashikaga shogunate was dismissed, and even the emperor deferred to him. But here, an unexpected event happened. Akechi Mitsuhide, a senior vassal of Nobunaga, attacked him while he was staying at the Honno-ji temple in Kyoto. Mitsuhide had 13,000 men, while Nobunaga had only about 100 men to guard him. Nobunaga fought briefly before choosing death over capture. Nobunaga set fire to the building and committed seppuku, or ritual suicide. He was 49. Mitsuhide's betrayal shocked the nation, but he wouldn't survive long. Toyotomi Hideyoshi avenged his master days later. Oda Nobunaga died. He never saw the unification of Japan, but he forged the path that Toyotomi Hideyoshi and Tokugawa Ieyasu would later walk. Without Nobunaga, there would be no Edo period, no Pax Tokugawa. He is remembered as both tyrant and genius, burner of temples and builder of futures. Even now, Nobunaga's legacy provokes debate, fascination, and inspiration. Was he a destroyer or prophet of modernity? Perhaps he was both. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Oda Nobunaga, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching. ありがとうございました。さようなら。